Bridget Bartlett here, and today I am going to show you how to automate your live stream workflow. So to do that, I'm actually going to use Zapier. If you're unfamiliar with Zapier, it is probably the most popular, maybe even the oldest software that allows you to get two different softwares to be able to talk to each other. Okay, so let me just, I know a lot of you have seen this before, but let me go through my daily live workflow here just to give you some. Now, of course, this is more advanced and I'm going to show you some, I'm going to break it down for you here in just a minute, I promise. Hopefully I can uncomplicate this for you, but I just want to give you some ideas of how you would utilize this inside of your own workflow. So you'll see here, what I do is I create my live stream. And if you missed any of the training yesterday, definitely go back. I showed how I set up my live stream and all of that. And then I add my YouTube video, the event, in a playlist. When I add that video into a specific playlist, I create a task inside of ClickUp. Now, I use ClickUp instead of HighLevel for my project management because ClickUp is just more advanced, right? The main reason that I use it is because with ClickUp, you can create tasks and then you can create subtasks within those tasks. So you see here that I have a task called post to communities. And then within that task, I have a subtask for posting to the YouTube community, to my MVA community, and my free community, right? I want all of those to be a subtask within the task. Okay. Now with HighLevel, you can create tasks, and I'm going to show you how to do that, but you cannot create subtasks in the task. Not yet, anyway. So anyway, that is, I know I'm going to get a lot of questions. Well, why do you use ClickUp instead of HighLevel? And really, that's the main reason. So once HighLevel comes out with more advanced options with tasks and things like that, I will definitely be switching to HighLevel. But right now, what we're doing is we are creating a video that we're adding to YouTube. And then as soon as we add that video to a playlist, and you can see here, to add any video to a playlist, you just click the little three dots, you click add to playlist, and then you can choose there which playlist you want to add to. Okay. Now, what we're doing, as soon as I do that, it tells Zapier, okay, because I have this workflow set up, it sends a message to Zapier, and then Zapier sends a message to ClickUp and actually creates the task for the blog. Okay. So whether you are using this for yourself or you have a VA doing this for you, it's really a great way of getting all of this set up to ensure that you're not missing steps in your own workflow. Okay, so obviously it's great to send to someone else like a VA, but even if it's yourself, this is a great way to keep you on task. Okay. So we are going to create a blog, and then we're going to create another task inside of ClickUp, and it is going to be the post to communities. And then, like I said, inside of ClickUp, it's going to also create a subtask for the posting to the YouTube community, to the members community, to the free community, post to the partner community, copy the event to the Facebook group from the business page. And of course, we have a SEO person. So we're going to create a task for that person. And then what I like to do is add the updated event to my calendar. So I have it connected here. It's going to find the event, then it's going to update the event. And then basically it's going to, from live training, it'll say the actual content that we're going to discuss. And then we have a task here just for some SEO purposes. And then a task to remind the VA to respond to comments. Okay. So again, whether that was me or my VA, we just want a reminder to respond to comments because, and I just want to explain this a little bit more into detail, because if you don't choose a time in the day that you want to respond to comments, what you're going to end up doing is trying to respond to comments all day long. Okay, we want to really do that in the morning and then in the evening. And really, no comment goes more than like 12-ish hours. being responded to. But I think the normal expectation would be 24 hours. And as long as we're doing that within that 24-hour period, I feel like that's really sufficient. But even then, we can kind of get bogged down in the tasks if we don't have a plan in place. And so adding this step here will remind us, okay, when we're going through our checklist of the things to do today, or your VA is doing that, okay, now I need to respond to comments. And then they know when they've checked everything off, or when you've checked everything off, that everything that you had to do that day is complete. Okay, so it's really important to stay organized and to have a plan in place. Now, what's really cool when you do this is you can actually, instead of writing out your SOP and all of that. If you ever need to change your SOP, you could just come in here and change that. And then it will just automatically update with the instructions every time. Okay. So hopefully I have given you a good overview and some ideas of how you would want to incorporate this type of a workflow. But regardless of, how you set all of this up, the main thing that I want you to notice is that continuing on from the workflow that I showed yesterday, when you do add that video to your playlist, it opens up being able to use Zapier like this. It opens up a world of options that you have available to you. Okay. And you'll see all of that when we're building out the workflow. Now, I do want to explain to you Zapier, the plans. You'll see there is actually a free plan that works great. If you don't need any more than 100 tasks a month, you certainly can use the free plan. I'm not a reseller or an affiliate of Zapier in any way. So really, I have I gain nothing by telling you this, except the fact that I do want you to be, to be able to accomplish the things that you're trying to accomplish. Okay, so you see that I have this plan, works great for me. I haven't needed any more in over a year. And then, of course, you have the team plan should you choose to use that. Okay. So let's talk about now, let's go back into my main screen here. And then I want to just build out a Zap with you. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click create, and we're going to click Zaps. Now, just like when building a workflow inside of HighLevel, we need to choose our trigger. So what do we want to happen that's going to make this workflow start working? Okay. Now you can see we can connect this. Zapier connects to like 7,000 plus apps. Okay. So we have webhooks here, and we have, Aweber, Facebook pages, even Stripe, Google Sheets, Slack. I mean, you would be hard pressed to find a software that Zapier does not integrate with in some way. Okay. Now, what I want to do is look for YouTube, because that's going to be my trigger. That's going to be the first thing that I do that I want all of these automations to take place. Okay. So I'm going to choose YouTube. And then you'll see when you choose the YouTube event, of course, you want to get logged in here. Okay. You'll want to log into your YouTube account, and you'll see the options that we have available when you choose the app here. We can trigger this workflow based on a new video, and make sure to pay attention to this so that you know which one, because if you choose any video in the channel, for example, even if you're posting short form videos, it's going to still trigger this workflow. So that's why I like to use the video in a playlist, because it gives you more control. You may have separate workflows for like I do for our weekly Q&A session. And if that's the case, you just need a different playlist, right? So I could actually trigger a playlist every time I add to the live replays or HighLevel overview or legacy training or any of these. I could trigger a completely separate workflow. Okay. So lots of customizations there. But if you don't care, or you just want to make it easy, of course, you could choose video in the channel. So triggers when a new video is published to a specific YouTube channel, new video in search when a new video is uploaded that matches a specific search string, or a new video is uploaded to a specific YouTube username. Okay. I'm going to choose this one because that's the one that I think is the best, and also the one that I really want to teach you how to use. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click next now. And if you're not logged in, or you don't have your YouTube channel connected to Zapier, it will prompt you to do that. I'm not going to do that again, but it's literally as simple as logging in. Okay, so you're just going to choose that and log in. And then now you need your playlist ID. So to get that, what you need to do is go into your playlists, and you just want to choose the playlist that you're going to use. Now, if I don't have a playlist, I could just click, actually, let me go to a video. If I don't have a playlist, I would just click here and then click add to playlist, and then I can create a new playlist there. Or I can go to the playlist that I already have created, let's say high level calendars, and you probably can't see this. So let me drag this down a little bit. You'll see here in the browser that we have playlist question mark list equals, and then we have this big long code here. Okay. This is our playlist ID. All right. So I'm going to copy that playlist ID. Let me move that back up into the browser there. And let's go back here. And now we have our playlist ID. Okay, so that's all we need to do to grab the ID. So now that's telling Zapier that we've connected our YouTube account and we have also added the playlist ID. So now it knows that when we add a new video to that playlist, it's going to trigger these automations. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue, and we're going to test the trigger. And when you test the trigger, it's going to pull in the data that it recognizes from what you just did, right? So you'll see here that I have how to set up high level calendars as Calendly alternative. And that is actually the video. So that's what it's pulling in, the videos from this specific playlist. Okay. So that's great. That's exactly what I want. So I can actually choose, which format, or, if these are different, I can choose which video. And what I'm basically doing is just using it as an example, right? So I'm saying, great, it found the YouTube channel, it found the playlist. We have all of the videos pulled in from that playlist so that we can use it as basically like a template moving forward. So we're going to go ahead and click continue. Now I need to decide, since that part is set up, what do I want to do with this? Okay, do I want to send it to ClickUp? Do I want to send it to HighLevel? Do I want to send it to Gmail or a Google Doc or MailChimp, or do I want to send it to another webhook through Zapier or something like that? Again, you could search and search, and you'll never run out of options of places that you can now send this data. But what we want to do, and what I want to show you how to do, is send it to your high level account. Now, inside of high level, and this is whether you are at the sub account level or you're at the agency level, all of the connections with high level is called LeadConnector, and that's LeadConnector without a space. Okay. So whether if you are downloading, let's say you go to the Apple store or the Google Play Store, and you need to download the app so that you can access your high level account, whether it is an agency or a sub account, it's going to be called LeadConnector. High level's version of Mailgun, which is what we use to send our emails out, it's called LeadConnector. High level's version of Twilio, that we use, that's branded, and they take care of all the compliance and all that we have through the SaaS configurator, that's LeadConnector. Okay, so everything that high level does that your client or a sub account could potentially see, they brand as LeadConnector because they don't want your client to see that it's high level. If you are an agency owner, you want the ability to tell your sub accounts, like I'm telling you now, hey, if you want to connect these, you can go to Zapier, and our Zap is called LeadConnector. Okay. So anyway, I just wanted to explain that so you guys know, anytime, whether you're looking at Pabbly or Integromat, which is I think now called Make, it's going to be the same thing. You're always going to look for LeadConnector, and that's going to be high level. Okay. Now with LeadConnector, once you select that, we have a selection of events that we can choose from. Okay, so at this level here with LeadConnector, we can take this information that we're pulling in from the first step, and we can add the lead to a campaign, but we're actually not getting any leads, right? If this was like a form from another software and we wanted to make that the trigger when someone submits the form, we're going to send it to high level, we could do that, but we're actually not capturing lead info. It's just an event through YouTube. Okay. So it wouldn't make much sense for us to use the add update contact because we're not capturing a contact, or add update opportunity, or stop all the campaigns for the lead, or even the API request here. What we really want to do is add a task, because remember, we are automating our workflow. So we're just trying to kind of create an automated SOP for ourselves. Okay. So I'm going to click continue now. And you want to choose the account that you need to connect to. So this is going to be your sub account level. Okay. So if I wanted to connect a new account, I'm just going to click new account and you'll see here that it's asking for the API. Okay, so to grab the API, we need to go into our sub account, not the agency account. Go to the sub account, go to settings, and you'll see here in the business profile. If you scroll down here, you may see activate API or generate API. If it says that, just click the button. Once it generates the API, what you want to do is just copy that. Okay, so let's go back to Zapier now, and let me pull up that window. And then you would just paste that API there and then click yes, continue. And then now you have connected your LeadConnector account with Zapier. Okay, so we've connected YouTube and we've connected our HighLevel account, our sub account with Zapier here. Okay, so now that's connected, let's go ahead and click continue. And then now we want to decide basically what info we want to put into this task that we're going to create. Okay, so we want to choose from the assigned user. So what user do we have in this account? Now, I actually chose an account that does not have a user assigned. So let me go back and let's change the account. Let's choose this one. I just wanted to show you how to connect that. And then when I choose assign user, let's go refresh results. Okay, maybe I chose another account that does not have a user. So let's go here. All right, so let's choose this one because I know I have users here. And let's do assigned user. And here we go. Now you see all of the users. So I'm just going to assign this to myself here. And then we're going to create a task. So what is going to be the title of the task? The title of the task would be, whatever you want it to say, at the, when you're looking at your task list. Okay. So I could say, whatever the first step is going to be. So let's say this is going to be a blog post. I'm going to say create blog post. Okay, and I could do even create blog post and then add the title of the YouTube video. Now, what's great about this is it's dynamic, right? So I can say create blog post and then add this from the video. And no matter, I'm going to set this up one time, and no matter, how many videos I add, it's always going to create the task. And the first part of it will say create blog post. And then the next part of it is going to be whatever info is here in the title field when I've added a new video to the playlist. Okay, so you guys definitely let me know in the chat. Am I completely losing you? Are you following along? I certainly want to simplify it, but I would love for you guys to not be intimidated by this, because there's so much magic that can happen if you figure out or take the time to understand Zapier and how it all works. Okay, so now we have the task title here. And so now when we're looking at our task, we'll easily see this is the blog post. And even if we have several tasks that say create blog post, we'll be able to differentiate that here because of the title. Now in the task description, we maybe want to, of course, we could add, create a blog post or whatever, but that's kind of redundant. So to make it simple, let's just go ahead and put the description. Okay. So when we add the description, it's pulling in, because remember, I'm pulling in the data from the first step here, right? So we've created the video, we've added it to the playlist, and then that triggers this to work. And what it's doing is now pulling in all the data from that YouTube video that got added here. Now we can do anything we want with it, right? We could send the data with emails. We could, add to the task like we're doing now. We could, add it to the calendar, whatever we want to do now. It's all being pulled in here. Okay. So we can use this any way we want to. So let's say that, we have our task description here, and maybe we want to also add the link to the YouTube video. So let's go ahead and just add that there. Now, if we want to add some text, just like up here, you can type in this box the same way as you can add any of the info here. So let's say description, just that way when it brings in the data, we'll say description, and then we'll say YouTube, oops. Go here and let's say need that little cursor there. So YouTube URL. Okay. So now we're building out our task description, okay? So we can choose the date and time. You do need to make sure that you're using this format here, but I actually like to make this due when the YouTube video is due. So you can actually, if you scroll down here, you'll see publish date. So I put that in the publish date. So whenever the video is published, that's also when the task is due. Now I could add a first name and contact and all of that just the same, because you can see this form here is basically the same as when you're adding a manual task, okay? So now I'm gonna go ahead and click continue, and you can see all of the information, and it's telling you here, it's going to send to LeadConnector. Here's all the information, and then now we can skip the test or we can test the step. So we definitely wanna test it and make sure it's all working, so we're gonna go ahead and do that there. So now it says success. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to pull this over because I need to get into another account since I couldn't use that one. And I want to show you what that task looks like that I just created here. But let me, because I'm live, I need to hide a couple things. So thank you so much for your patience. Let me grab this here. I'm so sorry. Okay. Um, Let me hide some stuff. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Thank you so much. Okay, so here is the task that we just posted. Okay, so this is in my live account here. So here's the title of the task. If I wanted to mark it as complete, if I could do that there, you'll see assignee. If I wanted to edit the task, you can see what it actually looks like here. So all of this data is coming in from that YouTube video. Okay, of course, you saw I didn't type that in there, but all the data came in. And this is really helpful when you are creating your blog posts, because if you are working with a VA, essentially all they need to do is just copy all of this content that you have added here, add it to the blog post with your video. You could even embed the video. And we did add the video link as well. Let's scroll down here so you can see where it says YouTube video URL. So how we built it here, if we go back here to the action, you'll see description, and then you'll see YouTube YT URL. So let's go back here now, and you can see if we go all the way up to the top, you'll see that's where the description is. And then it pulled in all of this from the YouTube video content. Okay, so all of that. And then you'll see down here, we have YouTube URL and then the link to the video. Okay. So you'll see the day that it was due. Of course, that's an older video, which is why it says that it's overdue. But you can see what it looks like there. Okay, so as you build out this list, okay, let's go ahead and we'll just publish that. Let's say that, of course, we have other things that we want to do, right? So let's go ahead and edit that. And then let's say that now here we want to send it to another software. Maybe we want to send Gmail. Okay, so we want to log into Gmail. Maybe we'll want to create or let's not reply to an email, but let's send an email. Okay, we can actually send an email through Gmail. We want to log into our Gmail account, click continue, and then here we can choose who do we want to send the email to. Okay, now because we don't have this connected to something that's going to pull in leads, right? If we had a step in here that or they're filling out a form or something like that, of course we could pull in the data, but it would have to be one of these steps here. Okay, that's why when we're starting from a YouTube video, you really can't do a lot with the contacts or like creating leads and sending emails. But that's also why I taught you guys, if you go to members, if you go into our membership area here, whether you're a free member or a paid member, which you can join by going to bridgetbartlett.com, you will see here this workshop that I did. In that workshop, what I showed you is how to use RSS feeds to pull in from your YouTube channel as well. Now, inside of HighLevel, when you're using the RSS feed, you can set up your email campaigns to send to your email list that way. So you actually don't need to worry about this step here. where you would want to send an email. Okay. But anything else that you want to do with this video, okay, you could do that, right? Maybe you're not even using high level. Maybe you're using Aweber to send your emails. Aweber does, I think, I used to use them. It was either Aweber or GetResponse. They do have a Zap that allows you to send to your email list, and I do hope that High Level has that soon. But as of right now, we don't have that capability. Okay, so I hope that you guys, if you wanted to use, for example, let me just show you this. If you wanted to use, let's say you wanted to create another task. So that first one was to create a blog post. But let's say that here we just want to keep building this out, right? Maybe we have different VAs that do different things. Maybe we have the blog post is created by a certain VA and we want to assign that to them. Maybe we have let's create another task here. Maybe we have another VA that does the maybe updating the like Daniel here. Maybe he is going to, let's say that I do the blog post and Daniel does the social media planner or something like that, right? So I could say social media planner. We could even use the title of the video here. I could also, if I wanted to pull in any data from any previous tasks, I could do that. And you can see, what it kind of looks like here. So if I did have data that had the first name and any of this content here, or even like I needed to add the ID or something like that, I could add that here. But you just have to be mindful of the information and what your trigger is that you're pulling in, because that's the data that you're going to be able to use. But you can pull it in from here or any of the other steps. Okay. So let's say here, we also want to add the description of the YouTube video. And then maybe we also want to add the link to the video there. Okay. So once we get all of that done, we could also choose again the publish time. So we'll say whenever it's published, that's when we want it to be due, and continue. And we could keep building that out, like I'm saying, and it will keep creating the tasks. And then once this is built out, all we need to do is add that YouTube video every single day to that playlist, and then it will trigger all the automations. If you guys do want to use ClickUp, you can see here, ClickUp here, and then you can see the different options that you have available. Okay, so we're pulling in the YouTube video, and then you can see creating a custom field, create a folder, a list, a subtask, create a task, a new checklist, post a task comment, post attachment. So you can see there are tons more options that we have available when you're using an actual project management software. Remember, High Level is a CRM and a marketing platform, but ClickUp is a more official project management system. So that's why they have a lot more options. Just depending on whatever your use case is, whatever would work best for you is what I would highly recommend. Okay. So thank you all so much for joining me. Remember, if you want to join our free community, check out that training, the workshop that I did with High Level or any of the previous training, you can do that at Bridget.